Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Monkey in the Morning. I'm your host, the Ranting Monkey. He's Jack. Say hello, Jack.
Hi, everybody.
Jack, how you doing this eve?
Yeah, I'm fine. How are you?
I'm all right. Had a good day. The lady monkey came back to me today, so I'm happy.
Yay.
And yeah, not bad. Went and saw my doctor, and she ordered a bunch of tests, which she could have just done from over the phone. Be like, hey, I want you to take these tests. But for some reason, I had to drive 20 minutes to go see her for that.
Yeah, they make more money doing it that way, I think.
I miss Zoom doctor meetings.
Yeah, it seems like doctors are all like, I want to see you in person. We're not dating.
Yeah.
Shut up.
Yeah, we're not that close, lady. But I did get my doctor's appointment out of the way. I don't have to see her again for 3 months. Unless one of my tests come back bad, then I'll have to go see her.
Yeah.
So one more doctor's appointment, and then the whole heart thing can be put to rest. I got to check up with the cardiologist just to get the official results. And then, yeah, just 3 months until the next one. So, yay me.
Yeah.
But because of that, I'm really tired because I didn't wake up or I didn't sleep very long. I only slept maybe 4 hours. And now I'm tired, Jack. But that's okay because I run on tired. I'm like America running on Duncan, but I'm Frank running on tired.
Oh, I don't know what that's like.
She just wanted to prod and poke you. She didn't even do that. The only thing they did was check my blood pressure. It was a little bit high. And so they checked it a second time. And she did look in my ears, which I guess was a little bit of human contact. But yeah, she didn't actually touch me. No turn your head or cough. None of that stuff, man. I was looking forward to that part.
Just to get strangers to touch you?
Yeah. That's why I have a physical, to get my balls fondled.
That's why I ride the subway.
Dark Resurrect, thank you so much for that. Feminist $12. Stop me if you have this already. Hobbs has approved the Arizona AG to pursue an indictment against Trump for election fraud. Oh, I didn't see that, but I'm not shocked. Katie Hobbs out there, the governor of Arizona, she's letting that what should we call her, horrible bitch of an AG go after Trump. I'm shocked.
Oh, it's like it's a pile-on. I'm so surprised.
I got in an argument with somebody today because they're like, Trump he deserves this. I'm like, come on, you have to be able to see that this is political. You can't tell me that all of these investigations just happen to wrap up after Donald Trump announces for president. And they said, hey, don't you think he announced for president when he did so that he wouldn't get indicted? I'm like, no.
Because this is when people usually announce that they're running for president.
Because there's no indication that just announcing you run for president was going to stop any indictments, especially with the hatred of Trump. You know what I mean? You kind of had that with Hillary, where Hillary absolutely should have been investigated more during the 2016 campaign. And they hold off on investigating too deeply, and definitely on indicting a sitting president, but not on an ex-president. But this is also a special case because they knew he was going to run. Everybody knew Trump was going to run in 2024. We all couched it with if he runs, but come on, with the way that 2020 went down, there was no way he wasn't going to run. And there was nothing to suggest that these assholes weren't still going to try to indict him, especially if he ran. The only thing that does make sense is that they're doing it to keep him from getting to be president again. Especially when you have to look at the fact that they're having to get creative with the law. Got in an argument with another jackass over Hammerschmidt and the Jack Smith case. And Jesus Christ, man. Guys, please, please, please don't just read one little article and tell people that this means anything, because that's what I ran into with this guy. He said, the Hammerschmidt defense has already been debunked. And then he links to an article where somebody says, oh, it might not work. Yeah, you proved me wrong. Damn it, that fucking lighter. But anyway, so besides the idiots I was arguing with on Twitter today, which we'll probably get back to later, there was an article I saw that I wanted to address. And it's an older article, Jack, but we missed it at the time, so I wanted to bring this up. We'll get to the Trump thing in a minute, because the Trump thing is also about an article I read. I'm not going to be telling you to vote for or against Trump. I'm not here to make a political argument for or against Trump. A little teaser for what we'll be talking about. But before then, this article, for some reason, is going around today. It was blowing up. I saw Sargon and what's his name? Not Sticks. The other one, Razor Fist, had both tweeted it out. And it says, making women look dumb is a disturbing new podcast trend. This is from back in June. Can you guess what podcast they're talking about?
Nope.
It's the Whatever podcast.
Oh.
Yeah.
I saw a couple people commenting on this too. I don't remember who, though. I just didn't care. I was like, okay, move on. Just keep scrolling.
Well, it's funny to me that they went with the Whatever podcast and didn't go with Fresh and Fit, because they make women look just as dumb. They just don't clip it the way that Whatever does.
Now, are they making women look dumb, or are stupid whores making women look dumb?
Both. I would argue both.
That's kind of where I was at with it, but
because it does make the women look dumb, but they're also purposefully picking dumb women to bring on there.
Well, I mean, it's the Jerry Springer effect, you know. Dumb people always make for entertaining shows because they're dumb.
Yeah. Says For Shame, a podcast with hundreds of thousands of subscribers and followers across online platforms, is stoking the flames of controversy by belittling female guests and making them look dumb.
Oh.
Okay. They are not making their female guests look dumb. If you want to argue that they're making women look dumb by having dumb women on there, that is a fair criticism. But they're not making these women look dumb. The women that they have on there are 100%, without question, fucking dumb. And whores. We can't downplay that.
Oh yeah. There's a pretty high number of slutty OnlyFans tramps on there.
Whatever, hosted by Brian Atlas, masquerades as a dating talk show while delving into gender roles, body counts, and the legitimacy of the patriarchy.
Wait, I never thought this was a dating show. I thought it was a let's make fun of dumb whores show.
I mean, if you're looking for a dumb whore, it's a good place to go. Right?
Yes. I just never knew it was a dating show.
Honest to God, I didn't know that either.
Yeah, from all the bits I've seen of it, it just looked like a let's make these chicks look stupid show.
Yeah.
And it was just like to make fun of OnlyFans and strippers and stuff.
The podcast team uses social media to seek women panelists, only to later roast, for some reason, roast is in quotes, roast them online in snippets pandering to the virality of the inflammatory hot takes. You mean they clip the stupid shit they say? That's what you mean.
Yeah.
In other words, it's perfect clickbait. I just wanted to bring up this one because on this panel, there's 4 or 5 guys and what's it like 6 women. But one of the guys is Destiny.
Huh.
Yeah.
But he's practically a woman. Oh, we have a birthday.
Yeah. Whose birthday?
Arlene's.
Arlene, this one is for you. And a 1 and a 2. Happy birthday, to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Arlene. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Arlene. I hope you are never on the Whatever podcast.
Well, happy 91st birthday, Arlene.
Oh, in that case, go on. Have fun. In one episode, the panelists, who were all women, rate themselves as 10, much to Atlas's shock. I'll be honest, I'm not going to rate you guys, but none of you are a 10, he says in response, prompting a chorus of agreement in the comments by users cruelly joking about the women's weight and appearance. Okay, Jack, so far we've heard that he makes these girls look stupid, and then immediately they go into, oh my God, they're judging how they look. That's not make now. They did say belittle earlier in the thing, but they did it within the context of making them look stupid. You being a dumb whore who put yourself way above what you're actually worth. Yeah, that's kind of mean, I guess, when the guys are all like, no, she's too fat. But that's not the same as making them look stupid. Is it? Am I wrong on that?
I don't know.
Unless one of them is like, looks like she got ran over by a truck in Maui yesterday.
After the fire, before.
Either or, take your pick.
Not fair.
In another, Atlas grills the panelists about their body counts or how many people they've been intimate with, and is met with resistance. It doesn't matter to me, but it matters to you guys, one woman said, gesturing to the men sitting across the table. So I'm not going to go and put myself out there and say my body count just for you two to ridicule me or something. Am I missing the part where they're like making her look stupid?
They're making her look stupid because she's a whore, is what I'm guessing here, but I don't know. I don't really get this.
Look, I think the whole body count thing, if you want to go on a podcast and tell people how many folks have plowed you, I mean, I guess. I feel like that's kind of the conversation that should be between you and your partner, if you're even going to have it. If you want to be dumb enough to go on a massive show like that and be like, yeah, 150, which is a real number I saw the other day.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think the record I saw in one of these shows was like 300. I'm like, damn, do you like need to recover that thing? Like, so it cools down like a machine gun,
Keldrick, thank you. Much to Atlas's shock, Atlas was not shocked that these women had an ego. Stop lying. That's true. I mean, he might have been like, really, all of you think 10, but not like, oh my God, all of you? No, look, you're not 10s. But I mean, if you've watched any of these shows, it does not matter how beautiful the woman is that pops up there. They will be like, nah, you're just a 4. Doesn't matter how cute she is. Knowing damn well that if it was behind the scenes, or in Myron's case, to get on his show, that they were plowing him, they're like, no, you were just, you're maybe a 6 if I'm drunk.
Now, to be fair, most of these chicks are not 10s. I've seen a couple of really pretty women that were probably 8s. But once they start talking...
4s either.
What?
I said most of them aren't 4s either, though.
No, but they're in the like 5 to 8 range. But they get really ugly once they start talking, and they're stupid and they're giant whores. Those numbers tend to drop down a little bit.
Well, here's the thing, and I hear you on that, but I don't know much about whatever, and Brian Atlas, if he's one of these guys who claims to bang a bunch of chicks. But you don't get to be somebody like fresh and fit and be like, yeah, we've had sex with over 100 women, and then be judging the women for plowing a bunch of dudes, and then pretending that somehow makes them look uglier to you. Well, you don't get to be banging whores talking about how banging whores is bad. Just saying.
Yeah.
Well, OnlyFans model Nicolette Nicole admitted that her appearance on her podcast was to bolster her own following. She told Vice that the clips were definitely chosen to create controversy and make her look dumb and shame her. Yeah, this is one of the things he's dumb at. This is where you women look really dumb. You go on there for clout. Watch the show first. If you're a woman going on to the whatever podcast for clout, and you just don't go on there preaching trad con bullshit, you're just dumb. Because they're gonna roast you. They're gonna do everything they can to give you the opportunity to put your foot in your mouth. And I don't mean this rude. I'm sure there's one OnlyFans chick who's out there putting herself through medical school. But typically, when you're selling your body to make ends meet, it's because you're dumb.
Yeah, and you're probably gullible too. Because somebody was like, "I'll give you a bunch of money, and because there's no way you'll find something better than this." Chicks are suckers sometimes. Let's be real.
We're not talking about people who fell on hard times, so they hit the street just to, get their baby some food, and they're actually smart, but shit just didn't work out. We're talking about people who look at other OnlyFans people and go, "That's what I want to be."
Yeah.
You're an idiot.
Lazy and rich. Well, not really rich. They think they're going to be rich.
On Twitter and TikTok, the video's provocative one-line captions lure thousands to millions of viewers. That's a little bit of a difference, isn't it? Thousands to millions. Between 1 and a billion people watch. OnlyFans girl gets roasted, the podcast tweeted. They think they're 10s. What about with no makeup? Reads another tweet. On Twitter, whatever often promotes videos from conservative commentator Ben Shapiro. Sure. And champions disgraced internet personality Andrew Tate. Tate has been accused. What Tate's accused of is irrelevant here. Entirely irrelevant.
Tate was on.
Thank you, Alan, who says, "Monkey." Hello, Alan. I'm sorry, Jack. I stepped on you there.
Oh, that's fine. Tate was on Fresh and Fit a couple of times, as I recall, but that's got nothing to do with what they're talking about.
Was he ever on whatever?
I don't think so.
And I mean, even if he was, what they're talking about here is just that he retweets the guy. So literally has nothing to do with this article. You're making women look bad. You're making reporters look bad. I'm just going to throw that out there. Anyway, I don't want to read the rest of this because it just annoyed me that it really had nothing to do with what it said. There's a case to be made, like I said, that they purposefully pick dumb women in order to show women in a bad light. Sure, that's a plausible theory to run with. But that's not what they talked about in any part of that article we read so far. Except for the one girl saying it happened. They cherry picked. Well, she didn't even know the word cherry pick. They picked lines that I said to make me look stupid.
Yeah, that was hard.
Did you think about not saying stupid shit? Just a
Whatever.
thought. Anyway, yeah, so fuck these people. It's funny, and that's why people watch it. Go ahead, bud.
Thank you, Alan, who says, "Jack, Alan, thanks, man. Hope you're doing well. Appreciate it."
Or they are showing those women in a bad light. Yeah, Faithless. Look, there are some people who point to that stuff and go, "Look, all women are stupid," which is not true. And that's not just me sucking up to women. It's just, yeah, they pick the kind of women who go on this show are, look what the one girl said. "I went on there for the clout." Well, you didn't go on there to have an intelligent conversation. You went on there to pimp your OnlyFans. You went on there to pimp that you show your booty for money.
Monkey. Just because that's true doesn't mean you tell people it's true.
Who could have thought that picking somebody like that to ask any kind of deep question to would lead to hilarity?
Oh, so judgmental of you.
Yeah, look, they've had smarter girls on these shows once in a while. Not very often, and they don't do as well, and that's why they keep going with the bimbos. There's a reason we have the term bimbo. It's
patriarchy.
Yes, exactly. Patriarchy is holding down the bimbos. Stop being dumb. Stop chasing that fame like that. At the very least, watch the goddamn show so you know what it is before you go on there and make an ass of yourself.
Do you really expect these dumb whores to do that?
There's one of the episodes of Fresh and Fit where this girl gets really mad. And she's like, oh, the only reason I came on here is because my friend said I should. I've never even seen this before. Then why did you agree to that? That's just you not making good decisions in life, which is probably why you're selling your booty for money online.
Yeah, I'm sure it's related a little bit.
On a platform where most people make like $20 a month doing it. Have you seen the numbers from OnlyFans?
Yeah, the average person makes what, less than $100
Yeah.
a month at being a whore. Well, I mean, I kind of don't get that because they must not have a lot of subscribers.
They don't.
Because most of these chicks are charging between, from what I understand and what I've seen of them, because I usually like click the link to see what they're charging. Because they're never free, except like Kendra Spade, who's a huge porn star, really hot too. Hers is free, but most of these women are charging like $16.99 to like $24.99. I saw one chick charging $27.99. Like, what are you doing? Who's got that kind of money? I could get Netflix for that. Porn's free. It's the internet.
I went down a little bit of a rabbit hole the other day, and I'm not going to advise people to do this because there is nakedness on it. I was not looking for anything pornographic, Jack, but somebody had shared, it was the Women's Posting Their L's account, and it shares these two different pictures, but they'd crossed out who had wrote it.
Oh.
And the first one says, there's a sale on my OnlyFans for $3. Come check it out, guys. And then the next post is a picture of somebody who's obviously just got married, showing off their diamond engagement ring. And she said, is it too much to want this? And I was trying to figure out who it was. So I typed in sale on OnlyFans. Do you know how many people have sales on their OnlyFans? Jesus fuck.
Probably most of them.
Discount online puss. I didn't even realize that was a thing. But there are just tons. If you search that and just scroll, don't pay attention to the pictures. Just scroll. There are hundreds, thousands of these things. So not only are you putting yourself on there, degrading yourself in that way, if you see it as degradation, which I kind of do, but you're also degrading yourself further by discounting your puss. Who wants some of that discount puss, boys? Yeah. The truth of the matter is, it depends on who you ask, because I saw an article that disputed how little OnlyFans people make. And their argument is that actually some people make more than $100, and it's not just the top 1%. Because what was reported is that only the top 1% of OnlyFans accounts get more than $100 a month. And instead, they're like, the top 6% does. I'm like, that did not make it better.
Yeah, that's not really helping your argument.
That means 94% are making $99 or less a month. Selling their puss.
Be willing to bet that 4% of what they were talking about were actually like $120 a month. Real fast though.
They could probably go out real quick and make more than that on the street in a weekend and be done with it for the rest of the month. Just saying.
Oh yeah, I mean, giving blowjobs for $20 a piece, some street whores making more than you.
Yep.
And let's face it, some of these women are really close to being actual prostitutes.
Oh God, yeah.
Thank you, Don Lemon. I make reporters bad, 2-time worst journalist of the year. Remember. Well, Don Lemon is a professional, consummate professional. Thank you, Don.
Scum says, I thought they weren't allowed to be naked anymore. There was something to do with that, but it lasted less than a weekend, dude. OnlyFans immediately was like, oh, our bad. We didn't realize people came here to jerk off.
Yeah, they tried to get a little more professional, but that didn't last.
No, it didn't, because well, that's a dumb thing to try to do when you really should have just named your site, "Hey, we got porn."
Yeah.
Are you tired of free porn?
There are people on there that aren't, turning a booty out. They're just doing other stuff, but they are the definite outliers.
Scum says, "Oh, I've never seen it. I've never been to OnlyFans." I don't understand why people pay for porn on the internet. I will keep saying that until the day I die. I do not understand why you'd rather give your money to some chick that you still don't know to show you her pooter instead of all of the free stuff that's out there.
Yeah, this is some really good amateur stuff.
Yeah, if that's how you want to spend your money, it's your money, but I will never understand it. All right, Jack, let's move along. Let's get to the title of the thing. As I said, I'm not going to tell you to vote for Trump. I'm not going to tell you not to vote for Trump. This is not a political argument. We can discuss politics, of course, but I came across this National Review article, which kind of pissed me off because all it did is point me to this guy's New York Post article. Like, well, why didn't you just post a Post article, fucker? So I went and read the New York Post article, and he's making the argument that you shouldn't elect Trump. All right, I'll bite. And I started reading it, and his reasons for it are fucking retarded. And that I cannot allow to pass. If your reasons for not voting for Trump are his reasons for not voting for Trump, then you're probably an idiot, and I'm probably going to be making fun of you for the next half hour or so. Just for I like to let people know what they can expect, Jack.
Oh, fair enough.
Criminal defendants make terrible candidates. The GOP must free itself from Trump. Bum, bum, bum.
Oh, no, he's a criminal.
Donald Trump is now under indictment in 4 different jurisdictions over 3 different controversies. He faces 91 felony charges in New York, Atlanta, Miami, and Washington, D.C. He's charged with covering up hush money to a porn star, making off with classified documents after leaving office, and committing a variety of fraud on state and federal governments in his efforts to overturn the 2020 election.
You know, I hate to interrupt you right there, but they missed the perfect opportunity to use the word absconded.
Yes. But a lot of people might have to look that up.
Well, I mean, their audience maybe, but ours is smart.
Some of these charges are bogus. Fair. The New York case, which amounts to accusing Trump of lying to his own checkbook, is the weakest of the bunch. That is true. That's basically what they're saying. Others are excessive and overzealous. Many, if not all, are driven by partisan politics and animus towards Trump. I'm with him so far. Me and him are on the same page, except for, his title. We're on the same page. And most of it's bogus. All of it is political. Even the ones that you might be able to point to and go, okay, there's a point there. It's not stuff that they prosecute for ever, but they're doing it here because it's Trump.
Yeah, almost all this stuff is First Amendment violations. They didn't like what he said.
Kevin Sarvold, thanks so much. That's fine. My coffee cup is indicted too, right?
While we're paused here, thank you, Keldrick. I've lost count of the days since last I could donate to Monkey via Streamlabs. The future grows bleak. I guess they heard he follows an anti-Semite, but enough about Ilhan Omar.
Yeah, some idiot I was arguing with today, like, you follow somebody who does, I don't even know what they were saying. And I point out, I follow Ilhan, I follow AOC, I follow Ted Lieu, I follow tons of people I don't agree with.
Yeah.
But they never bring those people up when they're trying to, show what a horrible person I am. It's like, you follow Ben Shapiro. Oh my God.
Oh,
I mean, I do follow an anti-Semite. I follow Ilhan Omar. I follow Rashida Tlaib. So,
both of whom have said severely anti-Semitic things.
Yeah. Well, they're Muslims. They don't like Jews.
Yeah.
Anyway, even the strongest case about the boxes of classified documents involves charges similar to things that Hillary Clinton got away with, and Joe Biden, and never mind, and Bill Clinton. Bill Clinton. He had classified documents in his goddamn sock drawer, but don't pay attention to that.
Nothing to see here.
If we're judging the prosecutors and the charges, these things all matter. But, when Republican primary voters are deciding whom they should nominate to run for president against Joe Biden, the only proper response to complaints about the fairness of indicted Trump should be, so what?
What? He just said some of these are bogus.
Yeah.
But so what?
So what?
Oh, fuck off. Yeah, that's a great way to have a capricious judicial system. That's really not going to backfire on everybody.
Now, this might upset you. I agree with him, kind of. The reason I don't agree with him is Trump. And not because Trump's being... If anybody else was under the kind of pressure Trump was from these people, there's no way they get elected. Period. End of story. In fact, they probably don't even get to survive the race. And this is what I'm going to get into. And I agree with you 100%, Jack. We should never be to the point where it's like, yeah, this is all bogus bullshit, but so what? I mean, it could cost us the election. If you're speaking just politically, under normal circumstances, that's 100% true. These kind of charges would absolutely destroy somebody, even if they turn out to be false or if they beat them in court. Look at the kind of stuff that happened with John Edwards. I mean, that guy's still a crooked piece of shit, but just the charges destroyed his political career.
Yeah.
Because he didn't have fuck you money and fuck you fame. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Nominating Trump again would be a disaster for the Republicans. That is not necessarily true. The criminal charges are one of the biggest reasons why. Even if you think that's unfair, it's reality. And like I said, I agree with him on that point if you're talking about anybody except Trump. Criminal defendants make bad candidates. As the old saying goes, politics ain't beanbag. People lose elections for unfair reasons all the time. If you want to win, you don't just ignore problems you think are unfair. And again, that is a fair take. But it's when he starts describing exactly why that I have my problems. Trump still has his strengths as a politician. He's universally famous. He's funny. He has devoted fans, and he can run on memories of better economy before 2020, and he's not afraid to be unfair himself. That's also true. But even before the criminal charges, he was deeply hated by half the country and disliked by a lot more than half. He's already lost to Biden once, and that was before January 6th. All right, we got to stop right there. Even with the hatred of Trump, polls have shown that if the Hunter Biden laptop had been discussed the way that we discuss it now, Jack, Biden loses that election hands down. There's no question.
Yeah, that's why they had to cover it up.
Yep. So even people hating Trump, they would have rather voted for him than Biden if they knew everything. And that's why I always talk about the real collusion during 2020 is the press and the DNC. It's always the press and the DNC. But
the DNC.
Them hiding who Biden actually was is the only reason Biden gets elected in the first place. So it's not really fair to just go half the country hated him. Well, that's what polls showed pretty much through his whole presidency, is that half or even more than half didn't like him. But they would have taken him over Joe Biden any day of the week if it was a fair fight. And again, it's not a fair fight. But in this case, it wasn't a fair fight because the press buried what the press should have been doing, letting us know who the candidates are. They purposefully hid Biden. How many times did we hear they put a lid on him for the day at like 9 a.m? Yeah, he's not going to talk to anybody. It's 8:45 a.m. and it's time for his nap.
There's a Matlock marathon on.
Yeah. Thank you, Kebisar Bold. He hasn't been watching too closely after each indictment. Trump has gone up in the polls. We'll get to that. Thank you for the donation. Opinion polls continue to show large majorities of Americans want nothing to do with what happened that day. Talking about January 6th. Okay, that's one day. There's tons of other stuff that happened. And I mean, when you're talking, Jack, this is of course not scientific, but if it's you and you have, okay, January 6th happened, or your money's worth a third of what it used to be, which one do you really care about?
Yeah, my money. Because, I mean, let's face it, what we know about January 6th is pretty embarrassing for the government on multiple
Mhm.
levels and their level of involvement in instigating and all the footage that's come out. January 6th was largely a nothing burger. It was a very lame riot, especially by the standards of like that 2-year span there. So, yeah, my money being worth less is way more important to me than some mediocre, sad attempt at a riot.
He's also 77, which makes it hard for him to make the case against the 80-year-old Biden's age. That's a very clear or very easy fix. Don't focus on his age, focus on his cognitive ability.
Yeah, his age doesn't determine the fact that he's stupid.
Mhm.
He's going crazy.
He gave a speech 2 days ago where he lied 5 fucking times.
Oh, yeah.
You don't even have to question his age. Question his mental ability. Question the fact that he's been a liar his entire political life. See, and this is what I'm getting at, where this guy just annoys me. If you want to make arguments against Trump, by all means do so. But none of these are real arguments. Well, he's 77, so you can't question his age. Well, I mean,
You take one look at the two people talking. Trump is clearly much more with it.
sorry about that. Now we get to the heart of the matter. Now, on top of all that, he's an accused felon and could be a convicted one by election day. He'll be in and out of courtrooms for months instead of campaigning. I've seen this argument several times about Donald Trump won't be able to campaign. He's not going to be on the campaign trail.
That's by design.
Well, it's also not that big of a deal.
Look, your hate facts, man. Oh, real quick. Thank you, Joey. It was a Law and Order SVU marathon. I had to study it with my son. Oh yeah, was it about sniffing? Because I bet it was about sniffing. Those delicious sniffable people.
Ron DeSantis not being able to be on the campaign trail hurts him.
Yeah.
Vivek Ramaswamy not being able to be out there hurts him immensely. Neither one of those are Donald Trump, whose name has been in the public lexicon for 30 years.
Yeah. Oh, easily.
Neither of them is a former president of the United States. Neither of them was president before Joe Biden's economy. You know what I mean? Yeah. So even without him being able to get out there to as many rallies as he used to do, that doesn't mean, oh my God, who's this Donald Trump character? This is what I'm talking about with this doesn't apply to Donald Trump. Because, yeah, for most politicians, you're absolutely right. You take them off the campaign trail, a third, 2/3 in some cases, it looks like it might be, Jack, of the time where he could be out there. It would matter. It would destroy their chances. With Donald Trump, it doesn't. He just, all right, fuck it. We'll just record this one and put it out on the internet. And everybody will go watch it.
Yep.
He's spending, by some accounts, as much as half the money he raises on legal defenses instead of on running the campaign or getting out the vote. All right, that part could hurt a little bit. But again, we're talking about Donald Trump. And the get out the vote effort I mean, some of it will be done by the campaign, but the majority of that will be done by the Republican National Committee, as well as the Republican congressional committees, both the House and Democratic committees for them. Those are the people who push the get out the vote thing. That will get worse. Trials are really expensive, and Trump has at least 5 of them coming, if you include the New York Attorney General's civil fraud suit. Because Trump's campaign is spending more than it takes in, he'd need a bailout from the Republican National Committee so his campaign doesn't go broke. Okay, let's pause there for a minute. If we're talking about Ron DeSantis, that's an issue. If we're talking about Vivek Ramaswamy, actually, it's even less of an issue for him. Donald Trump's a fucking billionaire.
Yeah, besides which, wouldn't the Republican National Committee be giving money to his campaign anyway if he's the nominee?
If he's the nominee, yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, this whole thing is designed to try and bleed him dry, though.
Yeah. And there's a ton of people out there, hey, don't give this guy money for his legal defense. I mean, it's up to you if you want to. But even if you don't, he is a fucking billionaire. This isn't some guy who has that's a single digit millionaire, you know. I have $5 million, and a single one of these could absolutely destroy him if he's trying to run for Congress on his own dime too, or run for president on his own dime. He's a billionaire. It's like the guy doesn't get that Trump is different.
I don't think he gets it, because a lot of these swamp creatures really only think in terms of what other candidates have done. They can't see outside the box. They're trapped in that specific way of doing things and thinking.
Trump is basically the only person in American politics in the last 50 years who came out of office less wealthy than he went in. That's absolutely true. And I would go even back further than that, man. Politics is a good way to go in and get money, and especially if you used to be in Congress and could get that golden parachute they used to be allowed.
Yeah.
There was a time that when you retired from Congress, you got to keep every dollar in your campaign war chest. It was yours. And then the American people started going, what? And so they changed it. So now that money has to be donated to other campaigns or to the your party apparatus as a whole. Lots of people became millionaires in Congress without any direct bribery, Jack. Because people would just
indirect.
Yeah, people would just donate they'd bundle money for your campaign. That you eventually got to keep. But hey, they weren't bribing you. Anyway, he says that's more money wasted, and it will hurt Republicans running for every other office. Again, see, he's just taking this overview. There's going to be specific money for the Senate committee and for the House committee, and those help in those certain races. Each governor who's running will also have their own money fundraising events that they're doing. Will it hurt? I mean, technically, probably, yeah. If we're just being fair, yeah. Is it going to be a make or break? No. Where are we? The indictment will also keep Trump focused on talking about 2020 election, which will keep January 6th in everyone's mind and make it harder to talk about the economy, the border, schools, China, and Joe Biden's woke social policies. Okay. That's not necessarily true. I do think Trump should focus less on 2020. Yeah, I realize he's getting a lot of boosts out of the indictments and stuff, but he really should be pushing the economy and the border woke bullshit going on. That's the kind of shit he should be pushing while he's talking about how he's getting fucked because of January 6th. The whole notion here, though, that it's going to keep him from talking about this stuff. Why?
Because they said so.
He doesn't. One, most of his talking is done when he goes up there and gives his speeches. It's not actual press conferences. And when he is asked about this kind of stuff, he answers quickly and moves on. And that should be a strategy. I'll answer this, but we're going to move on to look what Joe Biden has done to the fucking economy.
Yeah.
It's the economy, stupid. Run with that shit. We just saw that gas prices are creeping back up to $4.
Yep.
As your dollar is still worth less than it was. So I sound mad. I feel like Divine is just trolling tonight.
We're all mad here.
Trump's legal problems will continue to push the Hunter Biden scandals out of the news. That assumes they're in the news in the first place.
Yeah, right.
The only way they're in the news is for the news to go, the Republicans are just trying to get Joe Biden through his kid, and it's not fair, and there's really nothing to see here.
It's a boy, didn't do nothing.
Push the scandals out of the news and give Joe's defenders easy ways to say Trump is worse.
Trump's a mean old orange man.
All right. Well, let's talk about it. Earlier, he told us most of this is bullshit. Didn't he say that? A lot of it's bullshit. Right. A lot of it is excessive charges, and some of it never would have been charged. I mean, he basically said it's nonsense. So if somebody comes at you and goes, Trump's crimes were worse, ask them how exactly anything he did is worse than selling the office of the vice presidency to the Chinese.
And probably the presidency.
Well, yeah. By default later, but actively at the time he was vice president.
Yeah. Well, they don't want to talk about that. They just always deflect anyway. So it's kind of, it's a going nowhere circular thing. They're like, yeah, but Orange Man's bad. And he's super bad. He's a big meanie pants.
American voters who aren't committed Republicans will see all this and turn away from the guy who is always on television defending charges that he's a criminal. All right.
While you're doing that, thank you, Nurgle. I can help you with your DC problem. Just let one of the unclean ones out there in the Fed. I think Nurgle's already loose in there. He probably got a few strays in there, so I'm not gonna take you up on that offer. Thank you, Nurgle. But yeah, I find it best not to get into compacts with the unclean ones.
All right, this is 538.com, the latest polls on the national theoretical election. Most of it is between Trump and Biden. And if you go through it, granted, this doesn't account for the latest case, but if you go through it, except for in really weird instances, Biden is up by no more than 2 points anywhere. And in the weird instances, they stopped giving weight to these, which I really fucking hate. They used to weight the polls and be like, okay, this one's an A well-trusted poll. This one's a D because it's some guy in his basement who put a poll on Twitter. You know what I mean? They don't do that anymore. But even with all of that, the majority of these are 1 to 2 points. 1 to 2 points. And in some of them, again, Trump is winning. So I don't know where this guy gets that people are, oh, that's that criminal on TV. This is not just helping him in the Republican primary. It's helping him in the general as far as we can see. At the very least, it's not hurting him in the general. He's a pointer. He is within any margin of error on every fucking poll. How do you get from that to they're going to be like, look at him. He keeps defending himself against these bullshit charges. Can't vote for that. One, people like an underdog. Two, especially if they feel that that underdog is being wrongfully accused. I know the response. Trump's defenders will say that if Republicans let these indictments choose their candidate, every future candidate will feature criminal charges aimed at picking the Republican nominee. Well, no, I haven't made that argument at all yet, for the record. Have I made that argument?
I don't think so.
Well, I mean, we did say that you shouldn't allow that to stop a candidate, but we didn't say that they would do it, even though it's true that they would do that against other people. It's why I see folks like the DeSantis supporters going, haha, yeah, get him. I'm like, you guys realize this will come back to you, right? If they can do this to Donald Trump, former president of the United States, billionaire, they can do it to Ron DeSantis.
Oh, yeah, and they will.
And if you look at the nonsense out of that Georgia case yesterday, they can do it in Georgia.
Yeah.
If you ran for president, they can do it to you in Georgia. Ron, you might want to be like, yeah, this is bullshit. Call it out like it is. He says, that's not really true. Trump did a lot to make his own messes. Hold that thought. You said a lot of this was bullshit.
Yeah, but it's Trump's fault because. Yeah,
exactly. You've already said it's all bullshit, or well, not all bullshit. A lot of it is bullshit, and you're using that a lot of it is bullshit to point out that he's not a good candidate, and then you come back with, hey, he did some things that make him look bad. Sure. But even if it were, it doesn't change the reality that Trump is damaged goods, and a different candidate would have a better chance to win and put a stop to it. Look, I do believe in the damaged good things. I think there's people who will not vote for Trump because of this, but most of them weren't going to vote for him anyway.
Yeah.
There's, as I showed with the polls, there's nothing to show that this is hurting him in the general sense. In fact, nominating Trump just to get retribution, as he says, for these indictments still means letting the indictment decide the nomination. Yes, if that's the only reason you're doing it, if you're only voting for Trump as a fuck you to Jack Smith, then yeah, technically you're letting the indictment choose who your candidate is. I mean, that's a fucking dumbass argument to make, but he's not wrong. And that's what many Democrats want because they think Trump is easier to beat. All right. No, they don't. No, they don't. They are afraid of Donald Trump. If they weren't afraid of Donald Trump, we would not see these 4 indictments. They want to take him out before he runs. That's how much they want to run against him. If you think you can beat Donald Trump very easy, why do you try to take him out of the race? Because remember, these are not, when it comes to like the Georgia case, the Georgia case cannot be pardoned. The Georgia case cannot be pardoned if he's found guilty, Jack, until 5 years after his 5-year mandatory sentence. They're trying to take him out of the race. They would rather a more traditional Republican. Chris Christie would be there. I bet they would just cream themselves if he got the nomination.
Oh, yeah. They want somebody that's malleable, lazy, stupid, and corrupt.
And somebody that's going to, every time the press goes, hey, he said something racist, will fall on their knees. Please, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean it. Yeah, even though it wasn't racist to begin with.
Normal rhino Republican.
I don't think they really want to run against DeSantis either, because DeSantis has that go fuck yourself when they try to pull that too. Mm-hmm. But DeSantis is a lot easier because he just doesn't have the name recognition. He just doesn't. And he can point to Florida all he wants. And us policy folks, those of us who watch this stuff and pay attention to politics, sure, we know his name. Your regular folks don't. And the only thing that they know about him is that he hates gay people in Florida. That's not true, but that's what they're they're told every night on their MSNBCs and their CBSs and that kind of shit.
Yeah, well, see, he's like the anti-Shazam. You don't
Yeah.
want to say the word around him; it makes him scared and it makes him go. It's like a magic word of power that'll make him wither away and go, no. You just go gay, and he's like, no.
So in 2022, Democrats spent more than $53 million boosting Republican candidates who ran on Trump's claims of 2020 election was stolen. Most of those candidates won their nominations as Republican primary voters fell for it. Every single one of them lost in November. Correct me if I'm wrong, but the vast majority of Trump-backed candidates won. Like
Yes,
500 and some.
They don't like to believe that. They keep saying how much he lost because of like Dr. Oz and like 2 other people.
Yeah.
They focus strictly on the Senate race, which those candidates got fucked by McConnell.
So you have this whole thing with, oh, they spent all this money. And it is true. The Democrats pumped up some Republican candidates that they thought they could beat, who weren't good candidates to begin with. It had nothing to do with whether or not they supported Donald Trump. Is that Republican voters shouldn't fall for it again. Trump's problems are only going to get worse. Well, it's not falling for it again unless you can show me that the Democrats are paying a lot of money to pump Trump up right now. Mm-hmm. You pulled a bait and switch there, homie. Trump's not getting pumped up because the Democrats are spending a ton of money to try to get him to be the nominee. They're doing everything they can to keep that from happening. They even tried to impeach the man from keeping it from happening. But anyway, Trump's problems are only going to get worse from here. Republicans don't need to make these problems their own. Well, they are the Republicans' problems, because this was done against a Republican, and it will be done again. The creative prosecutions that these people have engaged in, like Jack Smith with his nonsense of fraud against the government. There's a reason that indictment is written the way it is, because in order for fraud against the government to occur, he has to prove another crime. That's what the Hammerschmidt case basically says.
Yeah.
And that's why he's going for something like, he tried to keep people's votes from counting. He tried to take away their civil liberties, except for there's no actual proof that happened.
Proof? We don't need proof in this banana republic.
And if you can do that, it's not technically an insurrection, but you might be able to keep him off of certain state ballots based on him having, stepped on people's civil rights to vote. Can't keep him off nationally, but it's not done nationally. Each state decides who's on their ballots.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, in this way, you can be like, oh, he broke our rules. They go back to, the Civil fucking War, when what they were talking about was Southern states who rose up against the Union itself. No. They want it because this guy didn't think he lost the election.
Oh, he also says mean words, monkey.
He does occasionally say some mean words.
Son of a bitch, guilty. Fry him.
I saw another Never Trumper guy today who's like, Donald Trump was constantly stepping on rakes, making the claim that it was Donald Trump who did all this to himself. Do I think Trump went too far? Probably. Because once the fix was in, Jack.
Yeah.
And you can fight it as best you can. I think he probably didn't do himself any favors by never conceding it and just keeping it going when it was clear. You fight that afterwards. But that does not mean he should be disqualified from being president, because the guy who wrote this is a pussy who clearly admits, hey, yeah, this is bullshit, but hey, damaged goods.
Yeah.
It's like that chick who got pregnant. She's damaged goods. You don't want her, right?
Yeah, she's got a track record putting out the whore.
Yeah.
Real fast. Thank you, Keldrick. Are you sure they got fucked by McConnell? Can he even get it up these days? Well, see, he's a turtle and they have little wieners. So the Viagra works double time for him.
The whole nonsense here, I mean, we can see the polls, Jack. The polls are not bearing out what this guy's warning about. And I see so many of the never Trumpers on the right. And let's be clear, it's where a lot of this shit's coming from.
Oh, yeah.
And you little bastards are doing Biden's work for him. Do you understand that? He should leave. I'd never vote for him. That's all they want. Just you never to vote. When he wins the primary, you stay home. Biden gets an easy coast into victory. He doesn't even have to cheat. Now, I'm not telling you to vote for Trump. I'm just telling you, if this is your reason for not voting for Trump, you're fucking retarded. If you honestly believe he did something, if you honestly believe he committed crimes and therefore you're not voting for him, fine. Fine. But if it's, oh my God, he's tainted, then you're dumb. It's not bearing out in the polls. And the more of this shit that comes out, and the more that the Democrats and the other lefties, you know, the ones who aren't Democrats, Bulwark and your Lincoln Project and those kind of assholes, the more that they have to try to defend this nonsense and be like, look, you're right. Under normal circumstances, this would never be prosecuted, but Trump had 2 scoops of ice cream. The more they have to do that shit, the more Donald Trump looks like a victim, which will get more votes. That's just how it is.
But
people love an underdog. Man. People love an underdog, man.
They do, but they don't want it to be Trump.
They love an underdog who's being abused by the system, and he clearly is.
Oh, clearly absolutely.
They want to talk about, you know, the documents down in Florida. Biden had to come out and admit he had some in an office he barely even used at a university in Pennsylvania.
And in his garage.
Wait. You're getting ahead of me.
Oh, sorry.
And then the press is like, oh my God, he had a few, but at least they were under lock and key. And they were like, oh yeah, we found a couple of more. Like, oh, where? In a box by his Corvettes. I mean, they buried that story, Jack. Nobody talks about the Biden papers anymore because it made them all look so foolish.
Yeah, it makes me wonder more and more what's in those papers, because they were real quick to bury the fact that Hunter was living there at the time too. Mm-hmm. So what was in those papers? Because if they have anything to do with Hunter's business dealings at all, and even just in the country that he was getting a job from, that really, really makes Biden look corrupt more than everything else already does.
Well, you also have to remember, not only did Biden have papers from when he was vice president, he had shit going back to when he was in the Senate that he never should have even had in his possession.
Yeah. Yeah, which again makes it look like something funny was going on. But that's why they had to bury it, because they're protecting him and Hunter and their little probable criminal organization. So that because they got to get Orange Man. Orange Man's the bad one.
Yep.
Not sweet old man Joe.
And the more that they have to make those excuses, again, it just looks like they're coming after Trump. It makes him the oppressed. And I don't understand how they don't get that. If I'm the Democrats, I'm like, no, fuck it. Drop all of this shit. Let's just have the race.
Yeah.
You can sit there and insinuate all of this stuff, but don't actually go after him with the legal arm of stuff, because that makes him the oppressed.
I don't think they can see that, though. They're so blinded by their own hatred of the man.
Gorbag said just got the notification. Yeah, I see you guys say that all through the shows, and I wish I had some way. Look, the best way to follow us is always Twitter. I think I have a 99% rate of actually tweeting out when we go live. It should work on the different platforms. YouTube doesn't YouTube well. So I apologize, but yeah, I wish there was something we could do about that.
Yeah, unfortunately,
Out of our
we were.
hands.
Yeah. Thankfully, other people do tweet it as well. I know Retro and Stargazer
Yep.
both tweeted out, and other people have done it as well. And we appreciate that quite a bit because that really does help.
This is a good time to remind you we're brought to you by you. Please hit the like button, the share button. If you would, please consider donating to Jack or my Streamlabs. The link is at the top of your YouTube chat and in the description of your YouTube and Rumble videos. This is just nonsensical. I don't understand why you have so many. Just be honest. Just say, I don't like Trump, so I don't think you should vote for him. Because that's what it is. If you're being really honest, that's what it is. You don't see people who are supporting Trump, or who do support Trump, and going, hey, he's a liability. This is coming from people who support DeSantis, support Christie. I don't understand that. Even Vivek is standing up for Trump. This guy has no shot in hell unless Trump is out of this race. And even he's like, yeah, this is bullshit. I will write he said this on Twitter. I will write the amicus briefs in this case if you need me to. I will write things to tell the judge this is fucking nonsense. And that's what you should be. I mean, that's where all of the Republican candidates should be. They should be out there going, look, even if I don't like this guy, what they're doing to him is bullshit. And that's all you have to say. You don't have to get real specific about it. There's enough generalities you can throw around. Like, look what they let Hillary get away with. Look at Joe Biden having documents in his fucking garage. As they try to make a big deal out of a sealed room that nobody was using. It was in the bathroom. Like they had people staying at that suite and they were having to pee around the top secret documents.
I doubt anybody used that bathroom.
They didn't. The whole thing was closed down. It's why they moved him in there.
Yeah. I mean, I think if I worked there, I'd probably want to poop in there because nobody's going to come in and bother you. And there's plenty of reading material.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
I'm bored. What's this?
The only problem is you were going to have to move like 6 boxes to sit down.
Yeah, well, probably more than that. I'm a really big guy. But yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying.
Let's see. I mean, there's not a lot to say about this. The editor-in-chief of Kotaku has been fired.
Oh.
I don't think it means much. She reportedly got into an argument with management, with the ownership, and then got fired. Nobody, at least last I saw, has talked about what that argument was. It's not going to make Kotaku any better because they're just going to hire another fucking idiot who doesn't know games and is a feminist moron.
Yeah.
Maybe this is why Anita Sarkeesian shut down Feminist Frequency.
I think that just ran out of scam money.
I doubt it. She was making a lot of money.
Did Kotaku get banned by one of the game companies or something for, so they don't get free stuff anymore?
They may have. It's not something I'm familiar with. Kotaku's just shit, man.
They always were, though.
Yeah, they really are. Nintendo apparently is the one who blocked them.
Oh, that's what I knew there was somebody, wasn't positive on who it was, but I knew somebody said, no more games for you because you're dumb and or incompetent, something along those lines.
I don't think people should be given free copies to game reviewers anyway. I think that you should have to go out there and buy it like everybody else.
Well, they do it. They used to do it so that they could get early reviews and it would help boost sales.
Yeah,
now it's kind of a moot point.
You let them buy tickets free. It's how you do with your reviews of a movie. You have a review screening. You still pay for your ticket.
Oh no, I've been to several movie review screenings. They're free
now. Everybody gives free shit away so that people will be nicer to them.
Yeah. It's an incentive to be a little more lenient. Like, well, I got this for free, so
You should have to pay for it. And look, I tell you what, I'll let you have your copy 10 days early so you can do your review. But you still owe me $60. What's the problem with that?
I don't know. I don't see a problem with it. People be more brutally honest, I think, but they don't want
Obviously,
that.
Monkey not getting free copies. Monkey's gotten several free games, and I haven't said anything about them because, well, one, they're not necessarily games I even want to play, and one of them I would have just been ridiculously mean to, Jack. Now, I'm not getting my AAA games free yet. I'm waiting. One day, Jack. It's coming. I can feel it.
But you know what would help that is if people go over there and subscribe to that channel to help boost your numbers.
Says the two guys who give out a free podcast / live stream. We don't do this for free. Luckily, our audience supports us.
Yeah, and we're both poor, so gives money to the link.
We don't have anybody out there writing nice reviews about us.
No, that's true. Although I'm pretty sure Crowder steals a lot of our jokes.
There's no doubt he steals. Man, that episode, we didn't talk about this, but not okay. Today's technically Thursday, not Wednesday's show, but Tuesday's show. He does this show, the title's something to the effect, what everybody's missing about the cases against Donald Trump. And literally, it was what we've been saying for more than a year about how if Donald Trump really believes this, then he had a duty to do what he did. That was the big thing. And then he broke out one of our jokes. And I told you about it in DM, but yeah, it's like, come on, man. You just literally lifted our show from the night before.
Yeah, it was literally the night before show.
All right. Moving along. Don't care about that one right now or that one right now. I do recommend Matt Christensen's latest video. He covered the indictment down there in Georgia. And there's a good explanation of why this was picked to be done in Georgia. Of all the places it could be done, why Georgia, and why is Georgia pulling, even though it's allowed by their state law, but why are they pulling so many of these, hey, this happened in Michigan bullshit? I mean, we even found one of them, Jack, that literally had nothing to do with Georgia. It's supposed to be part of the crime in Georgia, and this had nothing to do with it, but it's listed in the overt act in furtherance of a conspiracy. And not to ruin it for you, but it boils down to the fact that there are no pardons in Georgia. President can't pardon it. The governor can't pardon it. The parole board can, but only after 5 years of the sentence being served. So Donald Trump, even if he was thrown in jail today, wouldn't be eligible for a pardon for that until he's 87 years old. President can't pardon it. Nope. President can't pardon state crimes like that. The pardons are on the federal level. Governors have to do that. And in Georgia, the governor does not have the power to pardon.
I don't think he would anyway. Seems like a very convenient thing that he got charged at state level, and so many other states are looking at doing it now. This is going to get messy because Republican governors and departments of justice could do the same thing. So eventually they're just going to start indicting each other all over the place. It's going to turn into a giant fiasco.
Yeah. And yeah, I mentioned that earlier, Danger, so I forgot to mention it here. If found guilty, it is a mandatory 5-year sentence. There's no, this is your first offense. We'll let you off with a slap. No, it's a mandatory 5 years. Interesting, ain't it?
That's one way of putting it. I don't see this ending well if they convict him, because it already looks like they're railroading him. The judge in the federal case looks corrupt. I think is that the one that they're pushing? No, it's this Georgia chick's pushing for a March 4th trial.
Yep.
And that's the day before Super Tuesday in Iowa, so he's not going to be able to go campaign. Yeah, this is all designed to keep him out of the campaign trail as much as possible. It's fucking disgusting, and I don't see how this ends well.
All right. This one, I hesitate to even bring it up because there's some problems with the testing that was done, but Alec Baldwin could be charged again in rust shooting, Jack.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Part of the reason that they dropped the charges is that Alec Baldwin said that he never pulled the trigger. And he said Alec Baldwin could be charged again in the rust shooting after analysis finds the trigger was pulled. Now, I'm going to scroll down to the important part down here. This part. So they did some analysis, Jack. They took the gun and they tried to get it to accidentally go off. They found that the only way that it could have gone off is if the hammer was cocked all the way back and there was some kind of force put on the trigger. Not necessarily an actual pull, but enough that it would set it forward. Even triggers have different weights that you need to pull them, guys. Not to get into the weeds on how guns work, but it doesn't take much on some guns for a trigger to go off. And so if he just barely pulled on it a little bit or sneezed or whatever, it was enough to let it go off. The problem is that the gun wasn't the original gun. They destroyed the gun during other tests, and so they had to replace parts on the gun. And I think that alone would be enough to help him get away with it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, the analysis relied on replacement parts to reassemble the gun, pieces of which were broken during earlier testing by the FBI. New Mexico Special Prosecutor Carrie Morrison, handling the Rust case, said in an email Tuesday that a formal announcement on whether to refile charges against Baldwin is pending, but did not give a timeline.
I don't see the point. Like, it's going to be a beatable case on that one because they did replace parts. So it's no longer the original. So how would you ever know? And the analysis from the first one said it didn't happen, which if you watch that video, it looks like he pulled the trigger. So if they dropped it, it's pretty well done. They're not going to get away with having replacement parts on there. That's stupid and honestly unfair to him.
Kevin Starr, thank you. My take is, nothing is sticking. What can we indict him on with only hearsay and circumstantial evidence? I know. RICO. Yeah, in the Trump case. Absolutely. It's 100%. But in this case, with the gun having to be reassembled, you can't really rely on that.
No,
it's faulty. The part that you and look, I think that is a lame ass defense. I think you should be able. I haven't seen the video, Jack, but you should be able to tell whether his finger moves. We're not talking about a Zapruder film here. We're talking modern day high def cameras.
Yeah.
I still am under the. I mean, as an actor, he had been told that gun was a cold gun. Even if he did pull the trigger, it shouldn't have gone off because it shouldn't have had a fucking live round in it.
Yeah.
And that's why the armorer and the director who handed it to him should probably be up on charges. He's liable under the, I'm the producer of this movie kind of thing, but there's a lot of people. He should get it for murder. I don't think you can prove that he murdered this chick.
No, it looks like an accidental shooting.
Mm-hmm.
Was he reckless? Yeah, kind of, because you really shouldn't point guns at people. And he probably should have checked the gun. I think that would have been a smart move. Is he mandated to? No, for some stupid fucking reason. So I don't know. I don't see where he's really gonna do any time out of this.
Remo says somebody manually loaded a live round. Well, we do know they were using the prop guns, which are real guns, for live fire target shooting on the set.
Yeah, they were shooting varmints and rats.
There shouldn't have been live fire on that set.
No, there shouldn't have been any real bullets anywhere near that set.
Nope.
That somebody somewhere fucked up bad and did something highly questionable. So they should be charged, which I really do think that armor, that Hannah Gutierrez, she's the one at fault here.
He had live rounds on him. Are these rounds that he brought himself, or are these things that were given to him as part of his wardrobe? Kevin Sarbold, thank you. He pointed at her. You don't do that. Didn't they find live rounds on his belt? Again, I don't know how much you know about actors, but actors are not out there putting their costumes together, guys.
Most actors are really stupid, too.
They're told, here, put this on, and they go, all right, and that's how it happens.
And I have no doubt that Alec Baldwin has zero knowledge about guns because he's a big anti-gun guy. So, yeah, I put this on the armor.
Yeah, me too.
Real quick. Thank you, Rico. If they file a charge with Rico, will I go to jail? Also, don't fuck with my food again. I didn't do it. I had nothing to do with that. That was my lunatic family. But no, Rico never goes to jail because he could just sneak right out. He's a slippery one, that kid. Thank you, Rico.
All right. Jack, we have to talk about this. Do you know who Representative Max Miller is?
Oh, yeah, he's one of mine, isn't he?
He is. He's a congressman, a Republican congressman from the great state of Ohio, the 7th district down there in Ohio.
I saw this dumb fuckery when it first happened, and it was stupid. So stupid.
Lizzie Marbach tweeted out yesterday, there's no hope for any of us outside having faith in Jesus Christ alone. And Jack, if you're a Christian, this should be a notion you agree with. Mm-hmm. This is just Christian doctrine.
Yeah, it's I am the light in the way.
But not on Max. Maxie tweeted out, this is one of the most bigoted tweets I've ever seen. Delete it, Lizzie. Religious freedom in the United States applies to every religion. You've gone too far. I saw his tweet before I saw what he was responding to.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, what the fuck did she say? And then I read what she said. And I don't understand what just happened here. I honest to God, I don't understand where he got anything about religious freedom.
I don't either.
She wasn't suggesting a bill that said only faith in Jesus gets you there. She was stating her personal opinion. Religious freedom in the United States apply. You've gone too far. Okay. I mean, I suppose. But Jack, he apologized. I apologize.
Yeah, because he got massive blowback because everybody's laughing at him like, yeah, she's a Christian, idiot. All Christians believe that. It's in the New Testament.
This is true. Even Ilhan Omar came out and went, dude, what the fuck? I'm paraphrasing. But even Ilhan Omar came out and went, you're stupid. He said, I posted something earlier that conveyed a message I did not intend. I will not try to hide my mistake or run from it. I sincerely apologize to Lizzie and to everyone who read my post. All right. Jack, I bring this up because there were a lot of people in the comments to this who were like, oh, he seems sincere. We have to forgive him. Christians. All right. Jesus didn't tell you to forgive and be stupid, okay? Yeah, you guys are supposed to forgive, but you don't take, just because he says, where was it? I sincerely apologize. Just writing the word sincerely doesn't mean he's sincere. And I can prove he's not sincere. because there's no way what he wrote there. This is one of the most bigoted tweets I've ever seen. Delete it. Religious freedom in the United States applies to everyone. You've gone too far. For that to have been just a simple error in word choice. A message I didn't mean to convey. No, you meant what you wrote. You just, people gave you shit because you thought you were, because he is Jewish, Jack.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he thought he was going to be playing up the Christians hate Jews kind of thing. And when he realized that nobody took it that way except his dumb ass, that's when he was like, oh my God, did I say that? This motherfucker, he's lying. Oh, he means it sincerely because he wrote the fucking word. You can't be that dumb.
You underestimate the press.
I guess. No, I'm talking about your regular people on Twitter, so I guess point taken there too. He seems, one person actually wrote that. He seems sincere. Where? I mean, he didn't delete it, so good on him for that part. Although there's an argument to be made that you should delete the original tweet, get a screenshot of it first and put it in your apology so that way you're not running from it. But get rid of the stupid shit you said. Because now there's a whole bunch of people who will see that who never see you're taking it back.
Oh yeah, there's still people retweeting it, comment.
Yeah. He sincerely regrets getting circumcised by the people. Yeah, not by the rabbi. Now there was another congressman, because this is a Republican, but there was a Democrat congressman who this is Representative Casey Weinstein, who is a Democrat. He deleted his. There's like barely any evidence of this still on the internet, where he says, we may be on opposite sides of the aisle, but I stand with Max on this. Delete it, Lizzie. He didn't apologize. He just deleted his shit and pretended nothing ever happened.
Yeah. Yeah, much like Karine Jean-Pierre did when she deleted her Biden tweet.
Yes, indeed. Again, I'm not necessarily against deleting tweets. I think it's the right thing to do to keep a record of what you said. But to keep it out there like that, that's not really, I mean, like you said, people are still retweeting the original one who agree with it. But I just don't understand how you get to the point where somebody professing their belief that Jesus is the way, and you're like, this is the most bigoted thing I've read on Twitter. Like, homie, I got some shit to show you.
Yeah, was this day one on Twitter? Like, did you just join this platform?
Nuts said, I missed what Lizzie said. All right, this is what she said. There's no hope for any of us outside having faith in Jesus Christ alone. That's it. That's all she said.
Which is standard Christian talking points.
Yep. Standard Christian doctrine.
Right out of the New Testament.
You fucking bigot. And then to come back with, I said something I didn't mean. How do you say it? I want to conveyed a message I did not intend. Well, what the
I don't know
fuck?
how he didn't intend exactly what he said there.
Yes. What did you intend, sir?
Because that would be very enlightening.
What did you intend to say there? Because you are a congressperson telling a private citizen to delete their tweet at a time, a Republican one at that, at a time when Republicans are looking into the misuse of the government in keeping people silent, sir.
Yeah, which looks a lot like a violation of the First Amendment.
Yep. Now, he didn't put any force of law behind it, so that's how he'll, skip up on that.
Yeah, but it could be argued it's implied.
Oh, yeah. But it does tell us about his thinking. I didn't intend to get called out. Yeah, that's what it really is.
Yeah.
Conveyed a message I did not intend. Go fuck yourself.
Real quick, I got 3 stacked up here. Thank you, Keldrick. A Republican getting mad at the most basic milquetoast Christian take in the world, and then Ilhan Omar comes out against him. We live in strange times.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, it's just getting weirder every day. I never thought I'd be on the same side with Ilhan Omar on an issue like this. But she does hate Jews, so she might have just been doing it to be a contrarian and to hate on him.
Yeah, Max is a Jew, so that could have been why she did that one.
Yeah, and thank you, Mohammed. There's not enough free falling going on in the West at the moment. I needed to get those numbers up or a pox on you all. Oh, people keep trying to touch kids. That might be a thing. I don't know. And thank you, Tyrai Dios. Douse. I'm never going to pronounce that right. I'm sorry, Tyrai. I want to note with video quality, if Bigfoot appears, the film quality always seems to go to poo. So maybe Bigfoot was in the area out with Alec Baldwin at the time. That's a possibility. Bigfoot lives in blurry areas. He has, you know how paladins have a 10-foot field of protection so the attackers get -1? Bigfoot has that for cameras and surveillance technologies. So you get like a -5 to film him. So he's always kind of hazy and blurry. It's if you ever played 40K, it's like the Eldar warp shields. So you just can't quite pinpoint him. So you get a negative. That's why. So yeah, Bigfoot might have been in the area.
You made something funny, really nerdy, man.
It's still funny.
It is.
Both of them were funny because I made a nerd joke that was funny. You just were like, I don't care.
No, I was going to go with his physiology just causes, kind of like how with some digital cameras, there's certain light things that will block them. And he just has one of those naturally.
Yeah, he's got a faulty cloak of invisibility.
Yeah, yeah.
Bigfoot is 144p. Yeah, exactly.
Yes, he is. And actually, that's on his best day. All right. The Texas Planned Parenthood might be out of business soon, Jack.
Oh, yeah? They run out of babies to murder? I would
think that, no.
I was going to say, all those freeloaders coming over the border seem like perfect customers.
I'll put it on the screen and throw it to you guys, but the gist of it is Texas passed a law saying that Planned Parenthood couldn't get any of their Medicaid money. And a judge came in and overruled that. Oh, let me get this real fast and we'll catch back up on this story. Thank you, Tyrai. I mean, if we have Christians getting, oops, it cut off before I could finish reading it. That's on me. My bad. Thank you, Tyrai. I mean, we have Christians getting arrested for preaching at gay pride. Of course, communists hate any religion before theirs. The thing is, with him being, I mean, on the Republican side, you wouldn't expect him to. I think he was just trying to get in the news for standing up against hate against Jews. I really do.
Yeah, you know what it made me think is he's just another fucking rhino.
It made me think he's a retard.
Like I said, a rhino.
Okay, so Texas lawsuit could bankrupt Planned Parenthood in the state. So Texas passes this law saying Planned Parenthood can't have any of their Medicaid money, Medicaid. And a federal judge went, no, you can't do that. And so Planned Parenthood started getting reimbursed from the state again. And then the appellate court came in and said, actually, that law is fine. And the Supreme Court went, yeah, that law is fine. And so they had to stop getting their Medicaid again. However, Texas is suing, saying that the time that they got that money from when the judge said they could until the appellate court stepped in, that they weren't entitled to that money because under state law, they shouldn't have gotten it.
Yeah. So they want the money back.
They want the money back plus penalties.
Ooh.
Basically $1 billion.
Holy shit.
Which Planned Parenthood said, that'll put us out of business in Texas. Well, yeah. But don't worry. It's not that they want to kill babies in Texas. It's so that they can give breast exams. They always go to breast exams. Apparently, doctors never give breast exams. They're all done at the baby killing clinic.
Well, See, while they're carving the baby out, somebody else is fondling the boobs of the mom because they get off on a death of children, apparently.
Yeah, like, ooh, I feel a
Yeah.
lump. Wait, that's just a nipple.
Yeah, see, they're circling one nipple while they're circling one of their own too, like, ooh, dead babies. Let's face it,
So
they try and distract from the baby killing all the time, which proves that it's something shameful because they're always like, no, they do booby exams too. Whatever. Fucking idiots.
I'm trying to find where they have their this is gonna keep us from doing all this stuff to help the whammons.
Yeah, right.
Look, we all know Planned Parenthood's business is killing babies. It's what they do.
Yeah.
This is political charge to try to bankrupt healthcare in the state of Texas. Healthcare.
They're not going after urgent cares. They're going after the baby murderers.
It would jeopardize care for Texans who rely on Planned Parenthood clinics for services including cancer screenings, birth control, and other essential health care.
Well, maybe if they stop killing babies, they could get money again.
Services including cancer screenings, birth control, and other shit. They're not too specific about that other shit.
Yeah.
Killing babies is what you mean. Yeah, so they were cut off from the Medicaid system there in Texas, but they're arguing that since a judge told them they could, then it was okay that they did. Not if the law was legal.
Yeah.
And you guys filling out that paperwork would have been against the law. Now, they probably won't. This will probably get tossed out because the judge did, put a thing on it. Now you got to let them get that money. I just think it's funny, and I hope it costs them a lot of money.
Oh, they'll pay a lot in legal fees at the minimum. More likely, they'll just pay the original amount back and not pay any penalties.
Yeah, but it's going to get a lot more expensive to get that baby cut out of you because they gotta make up for this, Jack.
If they're so big on actually providing medical care, why don't they just stop aborting babies and focus on that other stuff? Then they'll qualify for Medicaid again.
Well, the funny part of this, Jack, is the amount that they charge is only $17 million. The rest of the billion is penalties and punitive damages.
Damn.
Yeah. And that alone would probably bring that amount down. A judge would look at that and go, come on. But, it is the government, and don't take the government's money, man. They don't like it.
Yeah, that's true.
Look, ask the IRS. Most people who get in trouble with the IRS, it's over a small sum, couple $1,000s, and that couple thousand turns into tens of thousands and then hundreds of thousands really quick. Instead of a coat hanger, they'll use a $2 whisk. Can you whisk a baby out?
I'm sure Planned Parenthood could if they would if they could.
Planned Parenthood in Texas is just going to be a guy in a Planned Parenthood shirt standing at the top of some outdoor stairs.
Huh.
Healthcare. Anyway, I just thought that was funny. And then one we didn't talk about yesterday, you brought to my attention after the show. David Hogg yesterday. This is a long 15 minutes.
Yeah, it is. I was surprised you hadn't seen this, but I didn't realize you were on Twitter so little yesterday.
Yeah, I really wasn't on Twitter very much. This fucking retard said the United States is one of the few democratic nations in the world that requires people to register to vote. Which is patently false, unless you mean by few more than half.
He's so dumb.
One of the few democratic nations in the world that requires people. Well, we're actually, a republic nation, but most modern democracies require you to register to vote, you fucking retard. It's how we know you're supposed to be voting, dumbass.
They just let anyone come in and vote, monkey, like it should be. So all those beautiful, divinely inspired illegals can vote because, why bother having a country? Sovereign borders are for bullies.
He's just such a fucking retard.
He
Oh,
is.
oh my God. He was on with Jen Psaki.
Oh, that ought to be hilariously stupid. Uh, I just don't get how this kid is popular, and it says a lot about how bad the standards are at Harvard that this is what they're churning out.
Well, he was near something that happened.
He ran
And
home and got his camera.
he was bright enough to take advantage of the media moment. I mean, he is smart in that manner.
No, he got lucky.
Well, I mean,
He's a clout chasing piece of shit.
but hear me out. You could say yes, and lucky in the circumstances kind of fucked up, but he gets lucky to be in this thing and not get shot, right?
Yeah.
But he notices immediately, I have an ability to go get famous off of this. And that's exactly what he did. So, I mean, there's a little bit of intelligence there,
I
but
suppose, but
not very much. I mean, it's Paris Hilton level of intelligence. It's Kim Kardashian level of intelligence.
yeah, I'd give you Kardashian. I would actually say Paris is probably smarter than this kid.
Paris is a retard. How dare you?
Yeah, but she's smarter than David Hogg.
Frosted Glass, thank you. No, I haven't voted yet. Live in fake, sorry, me and fake mustache. There you go. No, wasn't me.
Speaking of Frosted Glass, thank you, Frosted Glass. Don't be ridiculous, Jack. Everyone knows Bigfoot casts blur on himself, giving him partial concealment on camera to have a 20% chance to miss him. Plus, he's got greater spell focus in the illusion school, and you can't beat that, DC. I have no doubt he can cast spells, but I think that's a natural ability because it's on all the time. Because sometimes he doesn't seem to know the camera is there. Take, for example, the old bluff video from Patterson, where it's all grainy, and and Bigfoot just turns about 3/4 of the way through the footage and looks at the camera. Clearly, that Bigfoot, which was a female, didn't know that the camera was there. So, natural ability. But I will agree that his spell focus would be an illusion.
My dear friend Pat is here. Your
Hey,
boy
Pat.
Pat. Pat, your birthday was yesterday. This one's for you. And a 1 and a 2. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Pat. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, sir. Hope you had a good one. I did stop by your birthday stream. You hadn't started it yet, but I couldn't stay. So I just said happy birthday and had to run. I apologize for that, but happy birthday, my friend. Hope you had a good one. 45 years young. That's how old I am. I'm going to start describing old people as years young.
Well, he is younger than us, so. Monkey. Are you there? Am I there? What's happening? I'm scared. Uh-oh. Oh. Megatron seems to have fallen. Now I am in command. Oh, have a good night, Gorebag. Monkey's gone. Yeah, I don't know what happened. He's still here. I just can't hear him. Did he die on me? Oh, no. Better not be dead, Monkey. Klaus Schwab. Stop repeating the same thing. Fuck you, pay me. It's not. You're not getting anywhere with that. It's really annoying. Well, back to talking RPGs. Yeah, well, I guess we're talking D&D now. Oh, there he goes. Yeah, let's talk about Bigfoot's stats. I mean, let's face it. If they still had comeliness like first edition, it'd be pretty low. Did you get anything cool for your birthday, Pat? Because you should at least buy yourself something cool. Can't fall down the stairs live on air. You don't know that, Viking. He would find a way. We can't end the stream until he comes back either. I have no ability to do that. So we may be doing a very long stream here. Bigfoot used to... Ew! Gross. Okay, what just happened? I don't know. Is Bigfoot near his house? It's possible. Bigfoot is not D&D. Yeah, well, we could make it D&D. He's more tunnels and trolls. Is that what you're telling me? Met Bubba from Bigfoot Hunters several times, and I've had natives from Willow Creek tell me Sasquatch stories. Oh, cool. I don't really watch the Bigfoot shows because I think they're kind of boring. If I want to watch people wander around in the woods, I can just go camping. Or watch Blair Witch Project. You have just as much chance of seeing Bigfoot. There's really a mimic that takes joy in tormenting monkey. That's a possibility, Tyrai. Plot twist: stairs stuck up behind him at his desk and fell on him. Wow. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. Probably just some technical glitch. Hopefully he'll be back soon. Blair Witch was shit. I liked the Blair Witch movies. I think they're fun for what they are, but they're not exactly high-end entertainment. The first one had great marketing. I actually like the documentary film, the fake documentary they did, Curse of the Blair Witch, better than the actual Blair Witch movie. And if you buy the DVD, make sure it has both on it. Because the Curse of the Blair Witch it's a mock documentary. It was really, really entertaining. I watch it every Halloween. Bigfoot is in D&D's Pathfinder. Oh, I don't play Pathfinder. Is that why you have a trail camera to catch Bigfoot? No, I have a trail camera because it makes content.
Well, hello there.
Well, hello. Welcome back.
Yeah, the AT&T just died.
Oh, that's weird. Monkey's internet fell down the stairs.
Did. Hard, too. Anyhow, what were we doing?
We were talking.
Yeah, but then what?
I don't know. It was such an abrupt thing that I asked Pat what he got for his birthday. I hope it was something cool. I hope he got steak and blowjobs.
Oh, me too. That's what everybody should get, including women for their birthdays. All right, we got time for a story or two. Any preferences here?
Let's go with well, we have to do TLH last.
Okay.
So if you want to do one before that, pretty much any of them are good.
All right. Well, let me see what they all are. I don't know what they are.
Like
so
that.
Oh, that one. Nah, I want to skip that one. Oh, for fuck's sake.
That sounds like a winner.
Yeah. All right. So from the New York Post, guys. Homeowners arrested after trying to evict squatters from his own property. Walked in on weapons, a prostitute, and a bunch of dogs.
Drugs.
Sorry, did I say drugs?
Drugs. No, it said dogs.
A homeowner stopped by to check on his suburban Atlanta property, only to be arrested for trespassing. He got trespassed at his own property.
Yep.
All right. Days after the departure of a previous tenant, Tim Arco pulled into the driveway of his house in desirable Decatur, where he suddenly encountered a stranger waving a gun in his face. I just jumped the fence and ran. I didn't know what else to do. I didn't walk in on the family eating dinner. I walked in on weapons, a prostitute, a bunch of dogs in the back. My fence broken down, he told the reporter. After dialing 911 to report the intrusion, Arco was astonished to find himself being arrested and taken into the police custody. They told the police that I was a home invader and that I was in their home, and so I ended up being arrested and detained. Since then, Arco has been fighting to evict the alleged squatters. The alleged. It's pretty easy. Is it his house? Yeah. Do they have a lease? Nah. All right. They are squatters.
You monster.
6 months later, they are still living in his home.
Yep.
2 people have
Because of
died in the
course.
residence from overdoses during that time. Code enforcement has even cited Arco for not properly maintaining the house he legally can't access.
Yep.
Oh, for fuck's sake. After lengthy court delays, an eviction order was finally signed. Arco still awaits marshals, however, to conduct the eviction. Arco says he's been informed by marshals that they are hoping for September. Jesus Christ. No one likes, being in the court system, but it becomes even worse when it seems broken down, said John Ernst. There's an N there. Arco's attorney. I feel like it's very heavily weighted towards these trespassers and criminals, not people that got duped. Yeah, I want y'all to think about that. He got arrested for trespassing on his own property. The people who were actually trespassing on his property, not arrested.
Yeah, and they are barring him from getting onto his own property.
Back in May, a similar incident occurred in Atlanta when an Army officer returned to her home to find a squatter living in her sprawling $500,000 residence while she was away on active duty. Yeah, that's a nice house too. Sorry, this is doing it again where the ads are coming up from the bottom. But yeah, fuck these fucking squatters, man. Fuck them right in the butt. Just need to get rid of them. They have a right. No, they fucking don't. Get out of my house. It's mine. I own it. Get out. Get out. We're not talking about a one-day eviction, Jack, of a tenant who's lived there for 20 years and you're not giving them time to find a new place to live. These are people. He said the previous tenant had left, 2 weeks earlier?
Yeah.
Get out. Get out.
But they need a place to live, monkey, and it was empty. How dare you? Oh, he's such a bully.
Yeah, it's fucking retarded, man. Oh my. Yeah, that whole squatters thing. I guess I understand the impulse there. You can't just throw them out on the street. Well, isn't that where they came from?
Yeah, it sounds like they're mostly like drug addicts and whores. And 2 people have died there because they're using it as a crack house, basically. Yeah, throw them all out. These people have no right to be there. We need to stop treating criminals like they're somehow better than everybody else and giving them all these special rules. I'm so sick of squatters, man. That one really pisses me off.
Throw them out and sue them for lost revenue.
Yeah.
And damages.
I have them arrested for trespassing too.
Yeah, that's what should have happened immediately. I mean, this is literally a case where the owner of the property got arrested for trespassers, but not the trespassers.
Yeah.
The people who were actually there illegally.
And
they got to
that's
stay.
That's gonna be on his record.
And his house is destroyed to the part where he's got 2 citations for it. Yep. And they haven't done anything to keep up the property. If that's how the outside looks, the inside of that thing's just going to be destroyed.
Oh yeah, they're going to trash that place.
So yeah, they need to start kicking these guys out. And this whole squatters' right nonsense. Fuck you. Those of you who are so up in your own feelings and so emotionally unstable that you can see the squatters' side of things, fuck you. You're just stupid. Anyway, the cops are pussies. You can't blame it on the cops in this case.
This is because the lawmakers.
It's the laws, yeah. Now, you could probably say, hey, they got the eviction notice and they're taking too long to go evict them. All right, maybe you got a point there. But when it comes to why they were allowed to stay so long, I mean, there's some places, this is only 6 months. I mean, we've seen ones in California that have gone on for 2 years.
Yeah.
Thank you, Kebisar. They have tenant rights. Bullshit. I hear you, but bullshit. They should not. They're not
Yeah,
tenants.
they're not tenants because tenants pay rent.
Tenants sign a rental agreement. These people are squatters, and they're actually called squatters' rights in many places. They're just squatters. Kick them the fuck out. They don't belong there, and if they get hurt in the process, that sucks.
I don't really have much sympathy for the majority of criminals.
To be fair, shouldn't the city lease it from him using subsidiary drug war money to let the ghouls do all the fentanyl they want? No, they should just kick them out. That's what the police are for. These people are on my land. Get them out.
Yeah, they're trespassing.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
It's amazing to me that if you're in your home and somebody comes in, you can shoot them. But if you come into your home and somebody's in there and you shoot them, it's murder.
Well, they have rights, monkey.
They have rights. It's amazing to me you can get arrested for trespassing in your own home, but not the trespassers. That is absolutely insane.
Yeah,
but they're on hard times. Not my problem.
These days, everybody's on hard times. Deal with it.
Get out. Go find some place to live. I was going for a 2-bird solution. Well, there's nothing to indicate that this guy couldn't re-rent the house out. It had only been empty for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Kevsar, thank you. I agree. That is why visitors stay less than 7 days at my house. Fair.
Absolutely. How many nightmare scenarios have we heard about out of California where someone stays for 2 weeks? Boom, tenant.
It's not like that all over the U.S., guys. So make sure you check your local jurisdictions. But yeah, a lot of your liberal states have these fucking retarded squatters' rights laws. And thank you, Europe, for giving those to us.
Fucking Europe. I don't know why people love Europe so much.
Because they're retarded.
I guess.
Plague of beer-swigging raccoons trashing people's homes and eating their pets are causing catastrophe in Germany.
Yeah, Retro found this one, and I appreciate it.
Instead of masks, do they have little mustaches?
Yeah, they have the full Groucho getup.
Video shows raccoon trying to escape capture from a high-rise window ledge. A plague of beer swilling. Well, stop leaving beer out for them.
Look, monkey, if they want booze, they'll get it on their own. They'll just find some older boy to buy it for them.
A plague of beer-swigging raccoons trashing people's homes and eating their pets is causing catastrophe in Germany. Yeah, you said that in the headline. Homeowners are being hit with repair bills of up to £10,000 after returning from their travels to find their kitchens damaged by the pesky creatures. Comes after video posted on social media by the Bundestag, Germany's parliament, shows a raccoon trying to escape from a rescue worker's net, poking it. Do they not have guns over there?
I think the Nazis took them all.
Thank you, Frosted, who says, hold up, who's wearing Groucho's face? The raccoons.
Drunk raccoons.
Drunk raccoons. Comes after the video posted by them, shows the video or the raccoon trying to escape from a high rise. When it scuttles across the window ledge to avoid being caught, another net emerges on the other side. The encounter took place in an office building used by MPs in central Berlin earlier this summer after the creature had climbed up several stories. Yeah, they're little Spider-Man fuckers.
They have little hands.
Yeah, and they're smart little creatures too.
Yeah.
That's why you culled them. The German embassy in London tweeted, a surprise guest was spotted at the German Bundestag today, but the little raccoon, or Waschbar, as they say in German, couldn't find its way out. With a little help from colleagues, the cute visitor was brought safely back to nature. Well, he'll break into somebody else's home.
Mm-hmm.
As well as drinking beer, the animals have also been seen munching on fish and pet rabbits during their invasions. You guys have a problem. Killed them all. Scientists say the population increase is almost exponential. Almost exponential.
Almost, not quite. It's getting there.
Sorry, I skipped one. Germany's Hunting Association said it killed a record 200,000 raccoons in 2022 in a bid to curb the population, which had risen from less than 10,000 2 decades earlier. Scientists say the population increase is almost exponential, and that attempts to reduce it through hunting have actually increased its birth rate. What? So the raccoons got together, and what they're trying to kill us, hump.
I think there's a metaphor for the migrant issue going on here.
These animals, which are so cute at first sight, have become a plague in some parts of the country. Where do we get to? Wait. But how do we get to the increased birth rate from killing 200,000 of them? Okay. But the problem can no longer be eradicated, so we have to learn to live with them. I don't think you're shooting right.
Yeah.
In less than a century, the species has made Germany its home. That's the story of both success and suffering. The animals have been linked to the Nazis due to the time period when they were introduced. See, them fucking Nazis fucked everything up.
Right?
There's a popular belief that they were released in Germany on the personal orders of Hermann Göring, the founder of the Gestapo, in his role as head of the Reichsmaster of the Hunt. But this has been disputed. Raccoons were first released in Germany in the 1920s during a time when their fur was highly desirable. An estimated 1,000 of the animals now live in Berlin, where they've been spotted residing in boarded buses and state. Shoot them! Let people have little 22s.
Your first go-to is violence, monkey.
Yes, they're destroying the place. Berlin's Senate in 2022 refused to sanction killing raccoons, noting that it would prefer. Yeah, they don't want a final solution to them.
We're gonna find little raccoon camps where they're looking through the wire.
Noting it would prefer to encourage residents to lock their bins properly, while hunters moan that they posed a real catastrophe for native wildlife. They do. And locking your bins properly is not. You'd rather starve them to death? I mean, that's basically what you're saying there. You think they're going to go picking berries like a fucking Disney cartoon?
Nah, they're going to go up the chimney.
They're scavengers, man.
Oh, man. Now we're getting a little anti-raccoonist here.
It comes as Belgium is fending off an invasion of raccoons, with at least 60,000 flooding Wallonia in the south and traveling to Flanders in the north. The animals are native to North America, but began showing up in Belgium in the 1980s. Whoopsie. Oops. Look, you can't blame us for that. We don't like the little fuckers either. Look, I think they're cute, Jack, but that's why they should be filmed before they're shot.
Yeah, I mean, the videos I do are fairly popular with the raccoons in them, but I don't like raccoons very much.
Faithless said they're breaking in because people are locking their trash up. Yeah.
Yeah. They have hands. They can open doors and shit.
I mean, that'd be like me telling them, hey, just lock up your parliament building better.
Lock up your Reichstag.
When you guys leave the window open on the 5th floor, inviting them in, dumbass.
I think they're framing the raccoons. This is an attempt to steal raccoon gold. This is obviously code by the Germans for the Jews.
Did one of the raccoons have a little circle on his head?
He might have.
You know, a beanie almost.
Yeah. Yep. He had a little yarmulke.
They do have long noses. They have that long snout.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. See what I'm saying? This is a euphemism.
All
see what you're doing.
I see you, Germany.
Yeah, we're keeping an eye on you. Real quick, thank you, Keldrick. The Germans must address the raccoon question. They have the tools. They must enact the final solution. Yeah, it's not going to be Cyclone B this time. It's going to be Tornado W. Yeah, it's going to be another horrifying Kunacost.
I still need to know how killing raccoons made them breed more.
Well, see, they killed a bunch of raccoons, and then a bunch more found out there were job openings, so they moved to Germany.
It seems to me that implies a level of human-esque thinking, right? They're culling our numbers. We got to breed.
First of all, I would not be surprised by that. Second of all, coons do breed pretty quickly. They can have like 5-6 kids. There's tons of footage for that, but
there's nothing to suggest they're having 5 or 6 kids because Billy got shot.
Hey, I don't rule it out. Raccoons are very intelligent creatures. They can open things. They understand cause and effect like cats do, but they can open coolers. I watched one open a peanut butter jar when I was in Boy Scouts. Fucking craziest thing I ever saw. I'm like, oh my God, we need to end these things. But I think they're space aliens disguised as local rodentia. Because they're wearing masks.
It's like that mouse experiment with the beautiful males. Maybe.
Yeah, the mouse utopia. No, these are space aliens. They're stranded on Earth for whatever reason. They may have devolved slightly, but they have little hands. They're wearing masks so they look like local wildlife. Like, look, I'm just wildlife. Look at my disguise.
Greg says some animals, when scattered, will breed more to increase the group. So you end up with 2 groups. And that would be fine if they literally said they killed 200,000 of them last year. That would be really scattered, and it would take a while for that to be noticeable. Frosted, thank you. Coons breed quickly. Jack 2023. It's true. It's true.
I stand by
all over Twitter.
Yeah, raccoons breed very quickly.
Just shoot them more. I know that the German industrial base can turn out bullets really fast.
Yeah, they're really good at killing things over in Germany. The main problem they actually, in all honesty, do face is if there's this many raccoons and they're breaking into people's homes, if there's a rabies outbreak, they're going to have some real problems.
Yeah. Raccoons are one of the few animals that will go towards people's houses with that. A lot of times they'll tell you if an animal comes towards you, be careful, it probably has rabies. But most of them will stay away from your house if there's any movement. Raccoons, they don't give a shit unless you actually scare them. They might look up for a minute and be like, what's going on? They're not fucking with me, and go right back to the dirty shit that they were doing.
I hit one with a shovel in the head, and it just looked at me like, seriously? They have really thick skulls. Also saw my buddy shoot one with a 22 right in the face, and it just kind of shook it off because they have thick skulls.
You got to aim for the eye.
Yeah.
Kevin Sarv, old, thank you. Or, just aim for their kneecap, Jack. Kevin Sarv, thank you so very much. Well, you see, Monk, when a girl raccoon and a guy raccoon really like each other, I hear you. I don't get how shooting a bunch of them made more of them come up. And I understand the whole scatter thing, but I mean, are you really scattering the whole troop by shooting one of them that's eating your garbage?
Yeah, I don't know how their thought process works with like their tribe or pack or whatever.
I say shoot the females. That's how you deal with all problems in life. Shoot the females.
Well, there's a clip for you. No, I think they're going to look at real problems here. I don't know how much Germany is prepared for like a rabies outbreak, because that's been a problem in Europe before in the olden times, and there's still no cure for rabies. You could get the vaccine if you get treated right away, but after a day or two, you're boned.
Alyssa says maybe they only killed males. I mean, that when it comes to like deer up here, every so often, Jack, though, when you go get your deer permits, you can kill bucks, but you have to have a special permit to kill the doe. And every so often, when our numbers get too big, they'll issue a whole bunch more doe passes. But it's a lot easier to tell a male from a female deer at a time when they should have antlers. It's coming up quick for those of you who like to hunt than it is to tell the female from the male raccoon. Shoot the smaller one. Just saying. And aim for a gut shot because they have a thick head, apparently. You're supposed to be aiming center mass anyway, right?
It depends. You want to shoot them by the shoulder, technically be their elbow, which would be their shoulder. Most people think of because you want to go for the heart and kill them quick. You shoot a gut shot, they're gonna live.
No, that for a little bit depends on how bad the gut shot is, man.
Depends what kind of gun you're using too.
You know what? Okay, I got it for you, Germany. Go back to using the old musket rifles we used in the Revolution and in the Civil War.
Just blow their limbs off.
Yeah, and even if it hits them like in the gut and goes straight through, they're still going to die from the infection from the nasty ass ball.
Yeah.
See, I am a problem solver. Shoot the women in the gut with a musket. And on that note, guys, we're going to wrap this one up. Thank you so much for coming and hanging out with us this morning. Thank you for the donations. You guys are fucking awesome. Kevasar, thank you. Shoots all women, Monkey 2023 in the gut with a musket ball for the infection. Jack, anything you want to shout out?
I'll drop some links in the chat. Thank you so much for the tips. You guys are awesome. We do appreciate the support and just seeing you guys in chat and being active. That really helps. It's a lot of fun to talk to you guys.
Always is. I'm going to try to game stream later. Right now it's raining and I don't know how that's going to do. And I figured since it's raining, I'm going to go get some sleep, Jack.
Oh,
I'm a little bit tired. I'm a lot tired. But guys, thank you for joining us, Jack. A pleasure as always.
Always glad to be here.
Everyone have a wonderful day. We'll talk to y'all next time.
Bye, everybody.
Shoot the women in the gut to make sure that they die. And then grab a beer with some other guy. Remember, it's only